Show for today. We're talking to former Mayor Richard Fulton, and of course, Mayor Fulton, before we had our final commercial break, we were talking about youth and some of the other things that are important in your campaign and you believe will be important in your administration. Let's give you an opportunity over the last 6 minutes that we have here to talk about housing and some of the other things that you believe to be important in the campaign that will sort of separate you from others who would like to occupy the same seat as the mayor of Nashville.
Well, of course, in housing, I think we all realize that our public housing developments are much too large, much too many people crowded into a small area. And we are making some progress, I understand, in tearing down some of the units and opening up more space for playgrounds and open space activities. But I have a plan that I have discussed publicly now on several occasions to make available more affordable housing, and that is to, if it's actuarially sound, to take several millions, maybe even as much as $100 million out of the pension trust fund. The employee pension trust fund now has $1.3 billion in it, and that money is invested in stocks and bonds so that it can grow, and that's for the pensions for the metro employees. And if it's actuarially sound, I want them to consider taking in the neighborhood of $100 million of that and putting it into mortgages for affordable housing, and that will of course multiply as people pay on their mortgage. That makes available more money. I think that can get us over, well, presently we are having approximately 1,500 units a year available affordable housing. I'm told we need over 3,000.
So we have just about half of what we
have
really
about
need.
half of what we need, and of course every year that goes by, that means we're getting that much further behind. We're not even catching up. So that's one of my plans for making housing available to more and more people, and I emphasize affordable housing. There are a number of other things that I have in mind as with reference to housing programs, but that is the primary thrust of what I will attempt to do within the housing area. There are so many, I've always felt like, Doctor, that any government service that we have, that we should strive to make it the best. Now, we all know that education is foremost on the people's minds, and it is extremely important. And we also know that neighborhood safety is on people's minds. It's on my mind. I hesitate to get out of the car when I pull in the garage until the garage door's down. And we know that traffic, movement of people, is a major problem now. And that we'll address those three major issues, but at the same time, I want to make sure that we have the best public park system available, the best public health service possible, the best public works department possible, the best water and sewer department. I think that every service that we have in metropolitan government, we should strive to make it the best we can.
And in reality, we see now what you advocated during your administration, your first administration, in terms of downtown development, a number of other things, sports activities, and et cetera. Would that be correct?
Yes, I don't like to. I know that I like to take credit for things because it takes a team effort to make things happen. And we had good people on boards and commissions. We had good people in the council. And we had a good staff. Good staff had good work habits, and possibly they had good work habits because I'm such a hard worker. Was very few mornings I wasn't at the office by 6:30 when I was mayor, and prior to that, I most likely have been driving around the city, looking and seeing what needed to be done, whether or not it be in North Nashville, east, south, west, whether it was street lights that were not burning, or whether it was potholes in the street, or a dead animal that no one had called to advise the animal shelter to pick that animal up. So.
A hands-on kind of
hands-on, but still having a vision and having the ability to get the big projects done too. My mother and father taught me at an early age, if I'd watch the pennies a dollar to take care of themselves, and if you watch the little things in government, the big things will ultimately take care of themselves.
Well, Mayor, we've got about a minute and 50 seconds, and let me, before we run out of time, thank you for coming by and giving us that excellent information about your background, your education, and some of the things that are important in your career, as well as some of the things that you'd like to deal with.
I failed to mention in my background that I'm very proud of the fact that we have 6 children and 11 grandchildren. With our 6 children all graduated from public school system in Nashville. Two of them are doctors. One is a dental hygienist, and one is a secretary, medical secretary. One's in the real estate business, and the public school system did well by educating the Fulton children.
Very good.
And I think they're doing a good job with our grandchildren, too.
Final statement, a minute and 15 seconds, and we'll call it quit for today, Mayor Fulton.
Well, the final statement, I think I should certainly, if it's permissible, ask the people to give me their support on August the 5th if they think I'm the best qualified person for the job. And I realize that we should not make judgments necessarily based on the past. We need to be living in the present and looking to the future, but at the same time, someone that has a public record as long as mine is, and one that I'm very proud of, I'd like for them to look at that record, because that will help them make a decision as to what I will do in the future. There were many tough votes when I was in Congress that many people have forgotten about. The Voting Rights Act of 1965 was controversial. The Civil Rights Act of 1964, when I was one of 3 Southern congressmen to vote for it. Fair housing in 1968, when George Wallace carried Nashville in the presidential election. I was still one of 3 Southern congressmen to vote for that. So I'd